Football with Ronnie Huckeba.
Hi, and welcome to Harding Football with Ronnie Huckeba. The Bisons coming off a 28-14 win last Thursday night on national television down at Southern Arkansas. And coach, your football team, 489 yards of offense. Obviously, you're very happy with that, but I can't help but think that the defense stole the show on Thursday night.
I think you're right, Billy. Those guys had a tremendous game plan. You got to give our coaches credit, and the guys were prepared. They worked really hard all week, and you know we have had 2 or 3 really good weeks of practice, and some of our young guys really grew up the other night, and we were so pleased to see it. It was a fun night for the Bisons.
The Bisons performed well on national television on Thursday night, and we'll come back and look at the first half highlights after this.
Proud of all of our athletic teams.
Welcome back to Harding Football with Ronnie Huckeba. And Coach, I always think it's fun to play on a Thursday night, but on national television it had an even more added excitement, and what a great atmosphere when we got down to Southern Arkansas on Thursday, and your football team right off the bat with Ahmad Scott really got off to a good start.
We did, and you know, Billy, that's a sign of good things to come. We get the toss going early. That means the secondary is playing honest, and you know, the threat of the pass is huge in that, and you know, also Jason Aller, what a tremendous block he had on that play and then all night long. We got the backside go to Donatella established early. Another play in the game that made sure that their DBs were going to play us honest during the course of the game, and that means that they can't be as involved in the run. And that's one reason we rushed for 425 yards. That's the first phase of the midline triple, and the handoff to Danico Jackson-Best. Tremendous block on that play by Patrick Bingham, and here we go.
10 plays, 77 yards, quite a way to start a football game.
Right. You know, this was you know, indicative of the night that Romo had. Not really a whole lot going right there at the line of scrimmage. He makes a move, keeps his balance, bounces off a tackle, and goes for 30-plus yards. And you know, he just had a fantastic night, and so did our offensive line.
And the pressure that you put on Sikora was there all night, and this is now in the second quarter.
This was huge. We felt like our front four really dominated the football game, got a lot of pressure on Tyler, and you know, this was, you know, that was a big part of our plan. This was a big mistake in the kicking game. You know, we got to feel those punts, and you know, that was the first turnover of 3. And if we would have eliminated those, I think we would have put the game away earlier, honestly.
But your defense really stood strong there and forced a field goal attempt that was no good.
Our defense played fantastic in sudden change situations where they were put on the field unexpectedly, and you know, that was a theme all night long. Got the toss going again. When that play is going, you know that the secondary is playing honest. This is the boot off of the toss to Romo Westbrook. Great throw by Keenan. Good job by Romo catching the ball and getting us a first down. Here's the trap again to Romo. Great blocking. Mike Thompson with a tremendous trap block. And there he goes, 51 yards for a touchdown. That puts us up 14-0.
And everyone in Marion, Arkansas was happy to see Romo Westbrook do that on national television.
Without a doubt. You know, Romo would be the first to tell you that he had some great blocking by his O-line and by, you know, slots and receivers.
And hard to keep a good quarterback like Sikora down all night.
Right. If he has time, you know, he's got a tremendous arm, great group of receivers. and couldn't keep them off the board. There's another midline triple option where Keenan kept the ball and gets a big gain off that play. We had Roma open for a touchdown here, and we had a band bust, which means that one of our players read his wristband wrong, and unfortunately we ended up turning the ball over. And this is what allowed them to get back in the football game. Great pass rush right there by Daniel Riley. Daniel had a fantastic football game, and a lot of good things. We wish we could eliminated some of those negatives, but overall it was still a good half for us.
And so we go to halftime, 14-14, the game tied. You had to be happy with the way your team had played, but a little concerned because Southern Arkansas had the momentum, I felt, going into the halftime locker room.
Billy, I don't think there's any question about that. And really, as we walked into the dressing room, I had a very discouraged football team. And we had to work on that immediately and realizing, hey, they really hadn't stopped us. We've done a great job on defense against them. We eliminate some mistakes. We're going to have a good second half of football. And they came out ready to play in the second half.
All right, when we come back, we have a special opportunity to look at some of the broadcasts on national television on Thursday night, and a chance to spotlight some of the Bison players. We'll look at 4 Bison players on a spotlight with Duck Dynasty after this timeout.
I'm lucky. Let me help you with that. I get to do something I love. It has nothing to do with touchdowns or titles. Everybody bring it in. I get to play a part in the life of someone just starting out. How many of you think homework is just as important as teamwork? I help keep kids in school. Good. And that's the name of the game. My name is LaDainian Thomason. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United.
We were drawn here from all 50 states and more than 50 different nations. We are 7,000 students of languages, arts, sciences, and life. As diverse as our origins and as different as our backgrounds are, it's remarkable how much we have in common here in this place of faith, learning, and living. Harding University.
Welcome back to Harding Football with Ronnie Huckeba. And preparing for a national telecast, there's so much that goes into that. The Bisons had a great opportunity back earlier before the season started to go down to Louisiana and to record an episode down at Duck Dynasty, and I think just a great opportunity for the kids to go down there, and we'll have a chance to look at how that went right here.
Well, here at the half, we're going to switch from football to duck hunting. One of the more popular cable TV shows out there is Duck Dynasty. I mean, every week it attracts millions and millions of viewers. So imagine what an internship or a job opportunity would mean to have there at the warehouse, the place where the show is based. Kat Anderson tells us that if you have Harding on your resume, you have an inside track to an opportunity like that.
Each one has its own personality. Bill says don't sell it till you'll hunt with it. That means she's ready. This is the call that started it all right here.
Dad started this in 1972, is where he started coming out with this duck call, and just a few at the time.
What started out as a small operation tucked away in West Monroe, Louisiana, is now a duck dynasty. A multi-million-dollar enterprise and the basis of the #1 reality series on cable television.
Oh, I love it. Happy, happy, happy.
We came here because we love Duck Dynasty, and we just wanted to see everyone.
Trying to see if we can get autographs from like Willie and Cy and Jace and Phil.
Me and my brother Joseph drove 13 and a half hours to get here.
We actually came at like 6 this morning.
Yeah, we're on a road trip for a honeymoon, going all around the country, so.
We had to stop here.
It's got to be pretty popular. People's buying duck calls, don't even duck hunt now. Just because of the show, every day I'm just like, what's happened?
We love the family values.
And it's hilarious, too.
It's nice to know that people can still have a lot of money and not act like they do.
This is something that America and now the world was screaming out for, that they wanted better entertainment. They wanted something cleaner. They wanted something with values. Now everybody's happy, happy, happy.
What would make these fans even happier is a front row seat, a chance to work with their favorite personalities.
I would love to work here.
my whole school will probably apply here.
Everybody wants to work here. I mean, good night.
Despite the new interest worldwide, the Duck Commander remains loyal to the pipeline that's been loyal to him, Harding University.
The fact that I went to Harding, anytime I see Harding, come through in an email, whatever, it interests me.
Harding's a very family-oriented school and big time on relationships, and I think that kind of fits pretty well into the Duck Commander family.
In fact, about 70% of the Duck Commander staff, including his wife Corey, went to Harding.
Here at Taylor, I played football with him for 3 years, and then Grant's a former Harding football player, so we just kind of view them as one of the guys. It's an interesting dynamic knowing that you're going to see your friends, but you're also going to be around some of the most famous people in America.
So when a set of internships opened up at the Duck Commander warehouse, these 4 Harding student athletes jumped at the chance to learn some of the dynasty's secrets to success.
What you need to do is just make yourself as handy as a pocket on a shirt, and you'll stay a long time.
Biggest thing I learned was that you can't control the speed of business. We took a visit at the beginning of the year and saw how crazy it was coming down here, and then we formed some thoughts around developing a new retail store and then expanding the retail store as they have it now.
They also learned the value of breaking the mold when creating a business model.
I think that's one reason why we're so successful is because we're just us. We're not trying to be somebody we're not.
We don't judge people by how they look, and you know, people often misjudged us by how we looked, and we use that to our advantage a lot, and they kind of never saw you coming, and you know, and it's fun now to look at some of those guys back then who thought, you're never gonna do it, you know, you're not doing it right, and now we say, well, we did all right.
That's a great example. I mean, not just Willie, but the whole entire family. That's a big deal to me, and as I go into my career, I want to be myself and not change who I am.
Part of the reason why the Duck Commander connects so easily with these student athletes is because he runs this business more like a coach than a CEO. And with that territory comes training them not only in their professional lives, but in their personal ones to make sure they're happy, happy, happy.
I totally see myself teaching more than just business and more than skills, more than even from experience. It's about life. And so when I interview kids or adults, I mean, who are that come to interview, I want to know more about their life. I want to know where they're thinking, where they're headed, where they've been.
I'm a big family guy. You know, faith first, family second. I love what they have going on here.
Very nice. The athletic connections continue. Willie Robertson, the CEO, played basketball at Harding, and Phil Robertson, the founder of the whole company, played quarterback at La Tech, right next to a guy by the name of Terry Bradshaw. Well, if the Robertsons were watching this one, I think they were cheering on Danico Jackson Best on his 33-yard score, the first of the game. We got a tie game, and we have more coming up at the half.
What a tremendous opportunity for those 4 young men from the School of Business, and just they really represented Harding University really well.
Billy, you know, what gets lost in the shuffle when we do a football show are some of the academic accomplishments of these guys on our football team, and we have some fantastic students. You know, every year when they recognize the all-conference academic team, we have large numbers from all of our sports teams. And these 4 guys that went down there are some of the top students in the School of Business, and you know, they've got a bright future ahead. And you know, the reality is that's why you come to college, is to get a degree. And man, how could you get a better one? You know, of course, I'm very prejudiced, but I'm super pleased with the preparation that these guys have gotten. And the fact that they were able to do that was huge. And you know, if you notice, 2 of those guys in the background, Grant Taylor and Garrett Taylor, both former offensive linemen here, are working in sales and management down in West Monroe with the Duck Dynasty guys. So that's a big deal.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That was a lot of fun to see that for sure. We'll come back after this break. 14-14, the game is tied, so the Bison's in quite a football game at this point. We'll come back and look at second half highlights after this.
All right, guys, we gotta be smarter about what we bite on, okay? I want everyone to go outside. We're gonna run Red Rover on 3.
What about you, Tony?
I'm gonna run around circles, flat my arms, and make engine noises like this.
When it comes to playing, we kids are the pros.
We're eating right, too.
We fuel up.
To play 60!
Your school doesn't have a program? Be a leader. Start one.
Click today and join the movement.
Healing takes time. It also takes knowledge and expertise. Here we learn to reach out to and care for others through the application of medicine and true compassion. We understand that our mission is to take our training and abilities out into the world where they can and do heal the lives of others. For us, that mission began in a place of faith, learning, and living. Harding University.
Tackle by Meon, 1st and goal for Southern Arkansas. And Arian Jones, nothing there. After a 71-yard gain, he lost the ball.
Yeah,
He did lose B.J. Jones.
Wow. Well, we don't have reviews, so they're going to have to make the call right here. Let's see.
They're going to say he was down.
No, he wasn't down.
Well, but he falls on it right there.
Oh, I got you,
Yeah.
I got you, I got you.
Down on top of
But
it.
it was still a good strip by Jones.
Play late in the football game in the fourth quarter when the game was really on the line. And as we get ready to look at second half highlights here, the Bison defense would have to battle in the early going because Southern Arkansas would get the football to begin the second half, and they get the football right back to the offense. And here we go with Ahmad Scott again.
Again, you can see the toss, and you know, as I said in the first half highlights, that was huge. Getting that play established, that helped open up the rest of our offense, and you know, was a pivotal point, or a pivotal point in the game that we were able to run that play effectively.
Nathan Kadlicek was really solid all night in the punting game.
He was. We had 3 punts that we pinned inside the 20, one of them inside the 5, and that was huge. This is the boot pass again to Danico Jackson-Best. Danico's walking the tightrope over there. If he could have stayed in bounds, he knows he would have gone a long way. Back to another punt by Nathan, and you know, our punt team has been very solid all year long, and that starts with the snap and the punt and great coverage, and that's huge. Probably the critical play in the football game right there with Jordan Cantrell picking that ball off. One at least that turned the momentum of the game, because we were able to follow this up 14-14 with a score, and we start off running the football with Romo, and that's just power football right there that we were able to turn into an 11-yard gain. Here's the toss again to Ahmad. Look at Jason Aller out front working. Walk-in touchdown. Great execution. And, you know, this puts us up. We missed the extra point. I told John he's got to hit his 3-wood, not his driver. You know, we had a little snap hook there. So, anyway, we're working on that.
Another big play by the secondary right here with Trendle Stevenson.
This was a fantastic pick. You know, Trendle gets better every game. You know, he is a very talented football player. And if you watch the slow motion of that pick, it was fantastic. Okay, toss to Eric Kelly. Man, get your knees up a little bit, Eric, and make a 50-yard run. We executed that play well all night long. That's the midline triple away from the tight end side.
Another freshman.
This is Eric Simmons. Eric has really done a great job for us the last 3 weeks. He's dangerous with the ball in space, great balance, bright future for Eric.
And this was the biggest series of the football game to me, 2014 at this point, and Philip Meon is going to come up with maybe the play of the game
This
right
is a
here.
third down play. You know, Philip read it all the way. You know, he's got a huge height disadvantage there with that tight end, and he goes up, knocks the ball down, fantastic. And they come and miss the field goal. Instead of them having an opportunity to go up by 1, now we're in control of the ball, and you know, we're fixing to go 80 yards in 10 plays and basically put the game away. And it starts with this play right here to Ahmad Scott. Ahmad's doing a great job. He's got blockers downfield. Donatello was really upset because he stayed on that guy all the way and then lost him at the very end. It might have ended up being a touchdown on that play.
And this is the kind of drives that good teams make late in football games, right?
Exactly. Like I said, you know, 10 plays, 80 yards, running the ball down the field, burning time off the clock, basically imposing our will on the defense. And, you know, that is a team effort, because you can see the blocking, the ball handling, the faking, and then great runs by our running backs.
And Coach, your offensive line was so dominant on Thursday night.
Our offensive line had a great night, and we're very proud of them for their performance. There's the quarterback sneak for the touchdown, and then we, obviously due to the fact that we missed one earlier, we decided to go for two, and that's, this two-point conversion was critical. It put us up 2 full touchdowns. We run the boot pass again. They covered it, but because they covered it, it gave Keenan a running lane, and he got into the end zone for the 2-point conversion.
And your defense will come out and put the exclamation point on it with the interception from Darius Lane right here.
Right. They got another big play on us. If we take away 2 long passes, we had an even more dominant performance. But here we are in the red zone again, chance to make a play. Darius gets his first pick of the year, and huge win for the Bisons.
Time of possession in this football game, 36 minutes for your football team to the 23 minutes for Southern Arkansas, and obviously some other numbers to look at here. The rushing yardage was just dominating, 425 yards to hold them under 300 yards, passing too at 296, and the rushing yards at 44, because coming in, their outstanding running back Mark Johnson had averaged well over 100 yards.
Right. When you run the ball like that, as you mentioned, you keep their offense off the field. And we had a lot of explosive plays in that ball game. In fact, if you look in the Great American Conference and you look right now who's got the best yards per play, it's the Harding University Bisons. And if we can continue that as we progress through this season, we're going to have a chance to have a lot of success on offense.
And one more note about the defense. I thought the fact that Southern Arkansas in the red zone 4 times, only able to score 1 time. How resilient is this defense?
It's very resilient, and that this is a carryover from last year. We were fantastic in the red zone last year, and if you play great red zone defense and you play great red zone offense, you got a chance to win, and we're going to continue to work on those things.
And maybe lost in everything, the fact a win on national television was the fact that it was 2 conference teams picked 2nd and 3rd in the conference race, with 1 loss going in, and your team able to continue with just 1 loss, and now SAU has 2 losses.
Right. And, I told the guys in our meeting last night that basically what we did is we regained control of our own destiny. And that doesn't mean we have an easy road by any means, but we do control our own destiny, and if we continue to win, then we're going to have a chance to have reach our goals that we set at the beginning of the year.
A chance to come back home this week. The Bisons are at First Security Stadium at 2 p.m. start time. A red-hot UAM club coming in to face the Bisons on Saturday.
A team with a tremendous amount of momentum, and you have to give credit to their coaching staff, to bounce back from the year that they had last year where they had a lot of devastating injuries. They have a really good coaching staff down there. Those guys know what they're doing, and you can see it in their team. All you got to do is turn the film on. And against Tech last week, they played with a ton of energy. They are really getting after you on defense, playing well on offense too. It's just the difference between this football team and last year is night and day. And I told our guys last night, I said, we are facing a very dangerous football team with a ton of momentum, and we better be ready to play.
Coach, enjoyed watching the highlights with you today. Best of luck next week, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Billy.
That's all for this edition of Harding Football with Ronnie Huckeba. We'll see you next time.
Harding Football with Ronnie Huckeba.